Alright, boys, so Slime has been out for about 4 days. Also, what do we call the game? Do we call it Slime? Do we call it Isekai Memories? Do we call it Slime Memories? Do we call it Sim? Because that's like, you know, I don't know. You tell me what you want to call it. I've just been calling it Slime, but, you know, to each their own. And we might call it Sim in the future, right? Have you hopped on Sim yet? Yo, my furniture in Sim, or my building in Sim need to be whatever, right? Anyway, so it has been out for a couple of days, and I was going to release it in tier list on the first day, but I was like, it's kind of scummy because a lot of other YouTubers have done it, and I don't blame them. Tier lists get big views, especially if it's really early on in the game, but I didn't really want to make one. Because I wasn't like I wanted to actually make sure I know what the characters do, I know how they function. Now that we like most people got to conquest and we experienced the first bit of harder content, I think now is a time where I'm able to make a tier list and I can be pretty sure in how and where I place them. So without further ado, I'm going to explain the tier list. So the thing is, making a tier list for this is really difficult because it depends on the whole team composition, not just a single unit in most cases, and then it depends on what protector you have them like linked up with and everything. So I tried to make the tier list as broad and like as just open and general as possible, like not make it too niche, because there's units that like excel in like really niche categories paired up with their protector, paired up with a certain support unit, and then it can go crazy, right? But even though they're crazy at that point, like generally speaking, right, they're kind of just niche. But overall, still great, whatever. Anyway, you'll see when you see the tiers. Now, I know a lot of you probably don't even see this because you're going to skip ahead to where YouTube shows you a little icon where it's already the tier list page. But please listen to what I have to say. I really put a lot of thought into this. And I usually don't I ask for this, but if you could like the video, because I really did try and come up with teams and everything where units would shine, where units wouldn't shine. And fair judgment of the units. If you could like the video, greatly appreciate it, right? I didn't drop on day one just to milk the views. I tried to really wait until I understand the game more and more thoroughly than we did on day one. Anyway, without further ado, boom, this is the tier list. All right, so I know all of you like, oh my god, what is this? All right, let me explain. So here we have the best of the type. Now, the only one that I'm like kind of iffy about is Fire, right? Benimaru and Shizue. I think both really solid and both excel other stuff. The Sun Evasion stuff is really good. And the fact that she's an orb changer, I'm gonna call it an orb changer, right? A soul changer. It's really good. I think the soul changing ability I rate really highly, right? I'm not gonna use the character trait Awaken when you, because that's whale stuff, right? We don't need to worry about this, right? But this anyway is what I believe is. I believe Benimaru is better. I believe Benimaru is slightly better. He just has really high damage. The thing is, usually the people that have really high damage like this have a single target ultimate, but he has an AoE one, which I also just value more, because more content has AoE type enemies, or like multiple enemies, but single target is also really important because of conquest, right? And them just having single bosses that you have to fight. So obviously you'd want to have both in your team anyway, but I slightly value Benimaru more than I do Shizue, but I think they're both great units. I think they're both fantastic. Like I could put her here and like this wouldn't make sense, but like this is how I feel, but I can't, so I'm putting her here. Right, so let's go. Let's start with Rimuru. Rimuru obviously is a super solid unit. Rimuru has this stupid attack buff, really good defensive buff, right? And this works with everyone, and this is always like no matter when you use it, this is going to be good. AoE super attack, which is super cool, is super good too. And Steel type, which Steel type has really good support for actually getting to use your skills and getting your skill points up, because one, you have Ragna, which I think I have to load the music, by the way. I think the music is a little too loud. If you can't hear it anymore, then I'm sorry, but I think it was a little too loud. Where's Ranga? Ranga. Woof. All right, there we go. Changes Soul's secrets, so the orange one, the old increased one, into Souls of Skills. And then increase also skill gauge increase by 5%. So you get your skills quicker, and you get more skill, like more souls of skills. So you can get your skills quicker as well. Now, if you're confused by all this, I'm gonna make a beginner guide later, but that one will take a little bit more time because I really want to go into depth with like certain systems of the game. But anyway, that's gonna be out later. If you're a little confused, just trust me. This is really good. Okay. And the thing is also, if we look at the primary steel protection character, Charybdis, increases skill cost limit until the end of battle by 30, right? And you can definitely like keep increasing this to like infinite pretty much. and increases all social skill gauge increase by 150% for 3 turns. And you pair that with Ranga, who already changed them into social skills. You get skills so quick, and then Rimuru just buffs everyone like over and over and over again, even though the skill cost increases, but you generate so much skill points that it doesn't matter. So this is super solid. Rimuru, probably the best unit in the game. I'd say second. It's actually really hard to say because it depends what you value. I think Trainee is the second best unit, which let's go over her. She's also this tier. She's the best Earth type. She's also can be ran on all teams. Now this is because she has a heal. That's actually it. That's actually all she is. She has a good she has the single target ult, which is also really useful, but it's mainly just because of the heal. 25% heal on base, really solid. It has 40 costs, and obviously you can reduce it lower and lower. Super good skill. And the way I run her is I just have her in the back. I don't have my game open right now, but the way I run her is I have my 3 main units. I run her in the back. Now when I actually need a heal, I'll just click switch characters. I switch her in, boom, and then when she's on the field, she's actually not that bad either, right? I think this is not that great. 10%. I haven't really felt it be useful that much, but I'm sure later content, really difficult events, or bosses that just have specifically have a really high chance of piercing, this might be really useful because it lasts 3 turns as well. But it's mainly just a heal. The heal is really useful, especially for 3-star missions, so you can auto run them, right? That's she was when I did all the conquest stages and I 3-starred them, she was clutch. Her heal was so clutch. This streamer also has a heal, and it's not bad, but I'm not a fan of this unit in general. I think he's good, but you'll see. Right, now, oops, that's the thingy one, but we'll get to that in a second as well. Now, Gazelle is just a really solid DPS. I won't take too much time. Both his skills are cheap for first time using them. High damage single target, right? And it should be increase attack and crit rate by 20% for 1 turn. You pop this, you pop his ultimate, right? And you're chilling. Now, the other thing is the other light character, the Shuna, is which is why I have her so low. It's this one. It's because, well, she kind of just goes against what Gazelle wants to do. He just wants to ult and nuke. But she's changing Soul of Secrets into Soul of Divine Protection, and then increases Soul of Divine Protection gauges by 5% for 1 turn. And then all this, right? Increase own critical rate. It does everyone. Then I could see this being useful, but she just goes against what Light wants to do, right? If you look at the protection character as well, Ramirez changes Soul of Secrets into Soul of Divine Protection, so you can loop this over and over again. Increase all Light's attack, all allies' light attack by 10%, which is nice, but you won't get your ultimate because you keep changing the Soul of Secrets, which is the primary soul that gives you ult gauge. So, which is why I have Ramirez down here as well. It just doesn't go against. It just goes against what the best unit wants to do. Now, if we down the line have more units that have good more light units that actually support this archetype as well, then maybe they'll be good. But for right now, I just think that it's not that good, and you pretty much just want to if you want to run him as a main DPS Gazelle, you want to run him on the fire team, because Ifrit is, I think, the best protector unit, because it increases all allies secret skill gauge by 30%, and then, which is nuts. And then increase all allies fire attack by 15%. But the secret gauge thing is just is busted. But the attack is really good too, which is why again I mentioned Benimaru earlier, right? So the battle characters. I'm gonna link this website in the description, by the way. Let's go to Benimaru. He increases his own attack and his souls of secret damage. See, these two work together so well. He gets such a big attack amp, and then you do an AoE and it just clears the whole field every single time. Really good, right? Now Soe is really interesting because he increases all allies defense by 20% on this skill, and he increases Soul of Divine Protection damage until the end of battle by 5%. Right? Which protection, I said, I'm not a big fan of unless your protector unit actually works well with it. And what Milim does is increase all allies guard rate by 60%, so you get a defense buff from Soe, and the protection gauge increased by Soe, so you can spam this more often. And what it does is also it gives you Soul Divine Protection damage until the end of battle by 20%, right? The first time you just get 20% more damage on your Soul of Protection, right? Which he increases your Soul of Divine Protection damage as well as making it so you get your skill gauge easier as well, so you can keep spamming this. And you also have this Rimuru, the Water Rimuru, which also increases Soul of Divine Protection damage until the end of battle. So you just have really, really high damage on your blue cards, and you just pair it up with someone that can actually change your souls into blue souls, and you're set. Like you'll just keep cycling your protector skill, get your guard rate up, get your defense up from like having increased skill, and then keep getting your damage up, keep healing. Like the water team is really, really solid. So yeah, Sora is just great. I think Sora works with a lot of teams though, because he's just really solid. The way he creates skill orbs and then also increases your defense and your protection damage, really good support. I think you can run on any team, right? I just value him really highly. Now Shion has arguably also one of the best buffs in the game, which increases all pierce rate by 80%, all allies, and increases all allies pierce power by 20%, right? So you just get a huge damage buff from this. And then this increased all allies poison evasion rate by 9% is also not bad. Like it generally is useful. And then she's AoE, she's dark. I thought she was bad initially, but I didn't know how I didn't realize how important Pierce and everything is up until I got to Conquest, which this actually does matter a lot. And just really, really solid unit. And I think just because of this, because this 2 turns, 1 turn, and this is for all allies, you can run her on any team as well. I think you can run on any team and she'll be good. Training I already explained, and Hakuro, if we go to Hakuro, he has the best debuff buff in the game. So decrease all targets defense by 25%, super good. And then increase all allies critical rate by 30% base. That's so stupid. Now when you level them up, it only increases the death decrease of the enemies, but it's still good. And you can get it to relatively cheap as well, so it's super good. Now this Heaven's Eye I think is not bad, but it's very niche, right? Because some bosses will increase their counter-attack rate, so you want to decrease it again. I just want to decrease it in general, just to be safer and everything. But yeah, and then for these units, wait, what? Okay, oops, he's supposed to go here. Rimuru I explained, really good, but only on the water team because of only the combination. Beretta is also really solid, because you get soul secrets, you get your ultimate quicker for Shion to do her nuke more, and then she also increases all allies guard penetration and pierce rate, right? So you're just like, if there's a defensive enemy, the dark team will just smash through it. Ranga I also explained. Green Milim is solid, and she might be the best green. It's between her and Hakuro. She just has a big nuke, right? That's all I have to say. She's just a big nuke. Swords of Combos is your ultimate, and increase all critical damage as well, right? You pair it up with Hakuro, who gives you critical rate, you can just get a big nuke. That's pretty much all it is to her. You can really just exchange these two. Like I feel like it comes down to personal preference, but I think because of his debuff and increasing all allies crit rate, he's a bit more flexible, so that's why I put him in best at that time. Now, Shizue I also explained with Benimaru at the start, and then Earth Milim, actually high-key want to put here. Now, the Earth archetype, or like most Earth units, are just really defensive, and that's what she does. She changes Soul Secrets into Soul of Divine Protection, and then increase also Divine Protection gauges increased by 5%, so you get your Protector ability quicker, and she also increases all allies defense. Now, if you go to Protector of Earth, increases all allies guard rate by 60%, increases all ally counter attack rate by 60% as well. So you keep spamming that, and it's really good. You have Trainee to heal, right, and also debuff their attack power. So like the Earth team is really solid defensively, but I feel like they need one more unit that can really shine on that team, because if we go here again, it's Earth and Water, and for Water, like, it works. Like I feel like those types overlap pretty well because Water has one Zoe, and it also has Rimuru, right? So you can, it's like this works really solid. You can run Rimuru, Trainee, and Milim, and that will work really well as a defensive team. But I don't know, it sounds really good on paper, but I used it on my friend's account because he has that team built up, and I was able to beat Conquest no problem, but it didn't feel that strong. I don't know. So I think the team is solid and everything, but I'm not a fan of it. So yeah, and Milim, I actually have to bump up. I think I actually have to bump up because of the Water team. Again, I'm not a fan of the Water team, even though it works really well together. It all synergizes pretty well. I don't know how, but like when I use it, it just feels underwhelming. So to be fair, I think, you know, I accept Ramirez because she goes against what Light wants to do. I think like they're all really broken, right? They're all just really broken. And yeah, that's it. Oh, the free to play Shuna. Now her only good thing is that she has good stats because you can get her to 6-star for free from just playing the game. Where is she? There. And she does have this changes thing, but if we go down, and she has the 4-star Shuna has the same thing, and a lot of other units have that too. So yeah, the Shuna like doesn't really offer much. Has defense increase. A lot of other units have that too. Has an AoE ult, whatever. And since we actually do get this, the crit damage upgrade for her just seems so random. So I don't know. I think this unit is kind of just a, like whatever. But yeah, that's my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope if you have any questions, if you disagree with me on anything, let me know. I hope I made it as clear as possible. That's gonna be it from me. Okay, ciao.